All right, you guys, we're back at it now. We're moving on to the next part of the face, which is the nose. Open up your sketchbook or get a piece of paper. Get your drawing tools. I like to always have a shading stick with me. Definitely need it for this. And it's your preference on pencils. I tend to work with both. I move back and forth, so I have both with me today. In your sketchbook, go ahead and title your page. We're learning to draw the nose. First thing, you can't start a nose until you have eyes. The eyes matter because the eyes are the measurements we use on the face. For our notes today, we're not going to go into a lot of detail, but we are going to sketch in the basic shape of our eyes here. He's got very broody eyes, doesn't he? So kind of just trying to draw in his eye shape best I can and give him his iris. Pupil, whatever, no big deal here. The eye is one eye apart, so I've got to make sure I space out my second eye and draw that over there. Go ahead, pause the video, take a second, and draw on a pair of eyes, making sure that they are about one eye apart. They don't need to be perfect. Okay, so I'm finishing up my eyes. They're going to kind of ruin my picture, but whatever. I can't stand when they're ugly. We know that this is one eye. That's how far apart these things are. We also know the bottom of the nose is 1.5 eyes from the eye line. This is my eye line. I need to come down one eye. So I'll use that as my measurement. That's 1.5. The bottom of my nose needs to end up about down here. Does that look right? His nose seems a little long to me, so let me double check this. I probably should check that before I chose this photo. Nope, look, right on. There's 1.5 eyes right there. The width of the nose is also very important. The width of the nose is always, well, unless you're Michael Jackson, it is almost always as wide or slightly wider than where the corners of your eyes are, so you can see how these line up. So I know that I need to make sure as I shape in the size of his nose, I've set how long it is, and now I'm setting how wide that nose shape needs to be. The next thing I do when I'm drawing the nose is draw the bottom shape of the nose down here. It's really the only line that you're going to find on the nose. All of this stuff in here is shading, and that's where our shading stick will kick in. Looking at the shape of his nose, very round down here. It comes up, his nostril shape I need to draw, so I'm going to kind of do something like this and stop and blacken his nostrils. I told you the pupils are the 2 holes on the face. Your nostrils are the other 2 holes. Finishing the shape over here. So that's about it for the only line I'm going to draw on his face. Go ahead and pause the video. Get that done. All right. Next thing we need to think of when we work on shading the nose, I'm going to switch pencils here. I'm going to work with my shading pencil and my shading stick. It's basically a sphere. We have tons of practices with spheres, right? It's light out here where that nose is catching the light, and it gets darker as it goes over here. There's a little extra shadow as you create the next bump, so it's almost like a mini sphere over here with a highlight and a shadow. Same thing on this side. So I like to start by looking at that button of the nose and shading it. It's dark under the nose, right? The light is being blocked from the bottom of the nose. It's only hitting the top. So I start by putting a little bit of graphite on my paper. I also notice up the bridge of his nose, it narrows in here, so I need to give him a little shading. Also on that side, I see some shading. As I come down here, I'm going to do this again where I give him the shadow on the side of his nose and another one out here on that, I don't know, what do you want to call it, a nostril flap? Now, at this point, this is a little rough. This is when I really like to pause and start working on my blending, smoothing it out, smearing this stuff around. So go ahead and pause the video when you're ready and get it started, and then you can come back and watch me finish my shading. I'm going to work around here. I'm noticing that the shadow sort of connects up the side of his nose. This works into his eye socket area. Give him a little shading there. It all sort of starts to connect at this point. Like I said, you can't draw a nose without having the eyes. Let's see, on the right side, definitely a nice dark shadow here. He's super dark inside his eye socket. Bringing that shadow down. And then over here, a little bit over the side of his face too. Don't give him like an elephant foot where it's just here and here. You need to sort of bring your shading onto his cheekbones. take a moment, pause, finish shading your nose so you get somewhere close to this. The next thing I want to see you guys practice on the nose, it doesn't just stop here. We need to add this part in as part of our shading. Underneath the nose, we have the beginning of the lip, right? That wave where it goes bump, bump. We're going to go ahead and add that in as well. Again, same concept. That's out in the light, so it's lighter, darker, lighter, darker. So directly under his nostrils, a little bit darker. Under the middle, it's darker. And over here. Need to pay attention with whatever photograph you end up working with. You're looking at the lighting in that particular picture. Sometimes the face is side lit, meaning that you'll have heavier shadows on one side of the face than the other side of the face. Sort of blending this out. It's a little strong there. It will look better when I start learning to draw lips. I would also say these pictures look better when you can include some eyebrows in here so the eye socket starts to make sense. So not my best work up here, but whatever. That's pretty much it for how we draw a nose. It is all about shading and sort of bringing that lumpy thing into the rest of the face. Go ahead and practice this. You're going to get the handout and choose the noses you want to draw, but you are also drawing the eyes. And not like I just did. These are crappy. You need to draw your eyes the way you've learned to draw the eyes. So you're starting to put the face together. Choose your photographs you want to work with, and you're going to draw a pair of eyes and the nose all together, one picture.